What up, people? All right, so let's see what's going on here. All right, I need to know that you guys can hear me because I am outside on some public Wi-Fi, and I don't know how well this connection is. And I'm doing it right here in front of the courthouse. So good. All right, so today's first witness was Kelsey Harris. She was called to the stand this morning. We got a late start, and I will get into her testimony right now. Okay, I'm glad everybody could hear me. All right, so the first thing that that happened was the prosecutor called Kelsey Harris to the stand, and she walked in from the back. She came in through the back entrance, private entrance, I should say, not the same entrance that everyone else comes through. And if there's any problems with this transmission, just leave me a comment in there, and I'll see if I can fix it. But she came in with a partner, a male partner that I'm assuming is her boyfriend, and then she came in with her attorney. Her attorney's name is Nardoni, Daniel Nardoni. And Daniel Nardoni told the court that Kelsey Harris is going to assert her Fifth Amendment privilege, meaning she does not want to testify. She does not want to answer any questions. She doesn't want to be there. So then immediately after that happened in court, this is and by the way, the jury's not present at this time. Jury is not present when this is going on in court. So once the attorney asserts her Fifth Amendment right, then prosecution said that we are prepared to offer her immunity for her testimony today. And then they go over the immunity agreement. That takes about 5-10 minutes. And then once you're offered immunity, now you're forced to testify. And that immunity agreement just means that nothing she can say, nothing she says will ever be used against her. The judge actually asked the prosecution, do you have any plans of prosecuting Kelsey Harris in the future? And the prosecution said, we do not. We do not have plans on prosecuting Kelsey Harris at any point in the future. So at this point now, she could just testify about anything she wants, and she doesn't have to worry about prosecution, okay? So I just wiped the lens. Let me know if the lens is clean, because I rarely ever use this lens. When I do my lives at the studio, I usually connect another camera. So this is the laptop webcam that I usually have a piece of tape. I usually have a piece of tape covering in it. And so there might be a little bit of tape residue on this lens. I just wiped it. Give me a thumbs up if it comes off clear, or I'll try to wipe it again with another fabric. So, all right, so they offered her immunity. And then eventually she takes the stand. And we're on a lunch break right now. So she is still on the stand. Her testimony is not over. We're on a lunch break. She started testifying at 11:20 a.m. and we took our lunch at noon. So I'll give you a quick rundown of what was covered so far during her 40 minutes of testimony. I think Kelsey shot Tory, tried hiding the gun. All right. Well, I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. All right, so let me know if you guys are ready to hear. I'm gonna give you a brief synopsis of her testimony while she was under direct examination by prosecutor Ty. And I want to thank everybody for tapping in. I should do a, I had my Instagram page was recently taken down. I was gonna go live on Instagram also, but I have another Instagram. Maybe I should. Let me also put up my Instagram real quick. Let me go live on Instagram, and then I'll give you guys a synopsis of what happened in court. But yes, she showed up with her own attorney. She asserted her Fifth Amendment right, and then they offered her immunity. So once they offer you immunity, now you have no choice but to testify. You have to testify now because she doesn't have to worry about prosecution at all. All right, let me. I'm on Instagram Live as well. All right, so the first question that was asked to her, the attorney asked her, "How do you feel?" And she says, "I don't want to be here. It's triggering." And the prosecutor said, "In what way is it triggering?" And for those on the Instagram Live, I'm giving a synopsis of Kelsey Harris's testimony so far. She is on the stand under direct examination by the state of California, and she came in with her own attorney. And initially, she pleaded the Fifth. She did not want to testify. She was offered immunity, and now she has to testify. So I'm going over her testimony, and I'm on YouTube Live, and I'm on Instagram Live at the same time. So let me go through her testimony. She said she was also going through postpartum. I guess she just had a baby. But the prosecutor asked her, what's triggering about the incident? And she said, this is triggering because I'm in front of a million people. I'm in front of people's lies. She said lies by Megan. She immediately started to go in on Megan. The second question, she said lies by Megan, and the prosecutor said, what lies? And she said that that she painted a picture that Kelsey was a bad person and that Kelsey was offered money and that Kelsey was part of a narrative. This is according to, she's saying this was what Megan was doing. And she said, just so many lies. That's why it's triggering. And she said, what are some of the lies about you? And she said, well, I hush money, and then accusations that she took hush money to shut up. And then she said, how do you feel about all these accusations and lies? She said, it's ridiculous. And then she said, do you know Tory Lanez, Daystar Peterson? And she said, yes. How do you know him by Tory Lanez? Okay. How long have you known Tory Lanez before the July 12th incident in 2020? She said that she gave the same answer that Megan gave, that they met earlier that year. But she gave us some specifics on where they met and how they met. And then she was asked, how long have you known Megan? She gave the same answer that Megan gave, that they met in freshman year. And she actually said 2013 or 2014. She said that, what was your relationship like with her? She said that we were best friends. It was great. I trusted her. She trusted me. And then the prosecutor asked her, did you have a professional relationship with her? And she said, yes. She brought me on to be her assistant sometime in 2018 or 2019. Megan said 2019 yesterday. So those answers are fairly consistent. And she said, what did you do as an assistant? And she said that she would schedule her meetings. She would get her on time to places. She would organize. She would travel with her, and things of that sort. And I got a helicopter flying over me, or just over to the side over here. Okay. Then she asked the prosecutor, what was the relationship with all three of y'all? And she said, we were all good friends. She said we were all good friends. And then she asked her, how did y'all meet? How did y'all meet Tory Lanez? And she said it was at a Rock Nation brunch. And they all met at the same time. And that's new information. Megan never talked about meeting Tory Lanez at a Rock Nation brunch. She said it was like a party. It was party night, and they all had communication. And she actually said Megan wanted me to pursue Tory Lanez outside of just being friends. So apparently Megan was trying to play matchmaker and encouraging Kelsey to pursue something with Tory Lanez. And then she said then shortly thereafter, her, Kelsey, and Megan, they were engaged. The prosecutor said, what do you mean by engaged? And that meant that they were more than just friends. So that was an unusual word to use, that they had became engaged, to mean that they were involved in a sexual relationship. Although she never said sexual, her words exactly were that we became more than just a friendship. So then she caught COVID. She testified that she caught COVID. She had to go back to Texas, where she's from. And then that's when things kind of changed. So initially, Megan was trying to set her up with Tory, and they were all living here in LA, in Los Angeles, when all of this was happening. And when she caught COVID and went back to Texas, this is apparently when Megan and Tory became close. So now Kelsey's not in LA for over a month. She's dealing with COVID, but then she comes back to LA in June. She gives us a little bit better timeline of when things happen. Megan testified that Kelsey had came back to LA 2 days before the incident on July 12th. And Kelsey saying she came back to Los Angeles at the end of June. Which means about 2 weeks before the incident. And the prosecutor asked her, did you know about the relationship between Tory and Megan? Did you know that something more serious had started between them? And she said no, she did not know at all. But she later found out that during the time she was in Texas dealing with COVID, that's when she got closer. I'm going to take a brief pause here and tell everybody on Instagram, just come over to YouTube. I'm going to turn off this my phone here that's connected to Instagram just to save my battery. So come over to YouTube, StreetTV. Just type in StreetTV and click on the live link. And I'm about to kill the Instagram feed right now. Give me a second here while I close my Instagram feed. All right, people. Where did I leave off? What was the last thing I said? Let's see if you guys are paying attention. Give me what was the last thing I said here? Tory was knocking all them hoes down. Cool sense, you're crazy. All right, let me continue. She came back 2 weeks before the shooting. All right, let me So the prosecutor asked where were they staying. Megan was actually renting a house an Airbnb, according to Kelsey. And Kelsey also said that Megan told her, come move to Los Angeles. This was earlier in the year. Come move to Los Angeles. I got a house. And pretty much Kelsey packed up all her stuff, left the place she had in Texas and came to Megan. So she was pretty much completely reliant on Megan when she made that move. I think that's what she was trying to emphasize when the prosecutor asked her, did you relocate to Los Angeles for Megan? She also said she had got rid of her furniture. All right, and then they jump to the invitation to Kylie Jenner's house. This is where it gets kind of interesting. Prosecutor gets right into it. So they received an invitation to go hang out at Kylie's house a couple of days before they went. Now, remember, this incident, the shooting incident, happens on July 12th because it happens at 4 a.m. But the get together at Kylie Jenner's house is July 11th. So she asked, "Did you go to Kylie Jenner's house with Megan?" She said, "Yeah." "What time did you get there?" She said they got there around 3 or 4 o'clock. So that means they pretty much spent the whole day there because they didn't leave Kylie's house until probably after 3 a.m. because the shooting happens at 4:20. I'll even say after 3:30 a.m. because the shooting happens not too long after they leave Kylie's house. So they get there around 3 or 4 p.m., according to Kelsey Harris. And let's see. How did you get to Kylie Jenner's house? The prosecutor asked. A fellow named EJ, who is a stylist, took us there. Megan's stylist, EJ. I believe his real name is Eric, either Culverson or Colberson. I'm not sure because he's not a witness in this case, but his name has come up like three or four times. EJ, Eric Culverson or Colberson. So EJ takes them to Kylie's house. And then this is where Kelsey says she wants to be very clear and say that this wasn't a party. She said it was just a get together. It was a total of about 6 people there. So she certainly bothered by the notion that everyone is calling this a party. But we do know that 6 people can have a party, right? Give me a thumbs up. Can 6 people have a party? Especially when they're drinking shots, they're getting drunk, passing out. I don't think a party is determined by the number of people, but she was adamant by saying it was just a get together. James Ness asked, where in Texas is she from? She actually said she said where she was from, and I wasn't sure if she mentioned a community in Houston or a community outside of Houston. But there was a funny part where she was saying, I don't know where Megan's from, but I'm from such and such. I'll get the name of her area. All right, so she was very adamant that it was not a party, even though it was 6 people in the pool, having drinks, getting drunk. Damo says it sounds like a kickback. Yeah, a kickback. It could be a kickback. But I remember when I was a kid, I used to hear my mom and dad say, oh, we partied hard last night. You know, I'm in the bed sleeping, you know, as a like 8-year-old kid. And they're saying, man, we partied hard last night. And I'm saying to myself, well, it was just my uncle, my aunt, one of my older cousins, my mom and my dad. That's 5 people. So I'm used to hearing small groups of people saying we partied. So she was clear that it was not a party. All right. So the prosecutor continues. Once you get there, what goes on? What goes on? And this is where it gets real interesting. What's going on at Kylie's house once you get there? And she says, Megan wanted to cook. Megan wanted to cook for everyone. And she wanted to make nachos. So apparently she was in the kitchen hooking up some nachos while everyone else was in the pool drinking and taking shots. And then she says that at one point, Megan comes out and sees everyone having fun, including Kelsey. And she says, and she yells, how come y'all having fun without me? We don't know the tone that Megan said that in, but Kelsey felt it was important to say that during testimony that Megan came out with an attitude, I guess. Why y'all having fun without me? And then this is when the prosecutor asked how many people was it, and this is when we learned it's about six people. And then prosecutor asked, so then what goes on? And she said, we're drinking a lot of alcohol, and it gets kind of blurry. We were swimming in the pool. So the prosecutor said, what's the last thing you remember? And she said, Megan's demeanor. She said Megan was laughing heavily and being obnoxious. That was her exact words. And then the prosecutor asked, at some point, did you pass out, Kelsey? And she said, I do pass out. At what time do you pass out, Kelsey? She says, I don't know, but after maybe being there for 2 or 3 hours. Now, she passes out before Tory Lanez arrives. It's just them, this group of 6, without Tory Lanez present. Then she asks Kelsey, you wake up? Yes. How do you feel when you wake up? She says, I feel a little better. I feel like I'm in my right mind when I wake up. And then she says she goes back down to the gathering. When she used the word down, I'm assuming she was inside the house upstairs, passed out in someone's room. Chief Wow said there's over 200 people in here? Oh, okay. Hit the like. Hey, man, you can hit the like if you want. I really don't care if you hit the like button. I don't care if you hit the like button. I don't care if you follow me. Hey, it's all good. It highly annoys me when people get on their internet feeds and their lives and they're begging for likes. They're begging for followers. Yeah, I appreciate everyone liking. I appreciate people following. But, hey, if you want to do it, I'd rather you do it organically. All right, so back to Kelsey Harris' testimony. After she wakes up from being passed out, after being there for about 2 or 3 hours, she goes downstairs and EJ is there, Megan's there, Kylie's there, her, and now Tory's present. So she said that Megan was drunk and laughing obnoxiously, and we were all in the pool trying to have a good time. Then what happens? The prosecutor asks. She said, well, EJ said it was time to get out the pool. EJ, again, is Megan's assistant, stylist, and says it's time to get out the pool. And they had bags to pack, and they were ready to go. So I thought this was interesting. They showed up, Megan and Kelsey showed up at Kylie's house with a whole suitcase with different outfits, different bathing suits, things of that sort. So now we know for sure that suitcase and that Louis bag in the back of, well, I don't know where it was at in Tory Lanez's SUV. Now we know for sure that bag belongs to Megan. Megan was asked that question yesterday, is this your bag? Is this your suitcase? And she said either I don't know or no, I don't know. But according to Kelsey, that was her suitcase. The prosecutor even asked her, why did she bring a whole suitcase to Kylie's house? And she said, it's with everything that she carries around and clothing changes and bikini changes. At this point, Kelsey says, when EJ saying it's time to go, she said that Megan doesn't want to leave and her demeanor is off. And then she said Tory was doing his thing at this time. She was very vague. Tory was doing his thing. And I was like, dang, that's so vague. And then the prosecutor said, well, can you please explain us what you mean by Tory was doing his thing? I want y'all to guess, what was Tory doing? Let's take a brief pause here. Tory was doing his thing. What was Tory's thing? What was Kelsey's answer when the prosecutor pressed her to tell us what was Tory doing? He was doing his thing. It was innocent, though. His thing was innocent. Well, according to Kelsey, he was in the pool flirting with Kylie Jenner the whole time. macking, as Chief Wild said. He was macking, flirting, as Star said. And I believe I said this yesterday in the live I did on Megan's testimony, that Megan was clearly upset. We don't know why she was upset. And I speculated that she most likely was upset because Tory was in the pool with Kylie. And we got that testimony this morning that he was flirting with Kylie. EJ was saying it's time to go. And Megan is not wanting to leave yet. And it's clear. It's clear now. I mentioned this yesterday, but it's clear now. Megan did not want to leave Tory with Kylie. Megan was, in her mind, if I'm leaving, Tory's leaving too. Tory already figured out, hey, y'all been here for 5 hours, 6 hours. Actually, they had been there probably, let's say they got there at 5 p.m. Let's say it's 3 a.m. They've been there for like 8 hours, 8, 9 hours. Tory's like, I'm in the pool, I'm chilling, y'all can go. And Megan is not feeling that. Megan is not feeling that. She does not want to go. But then EJ says something about your wig or your hair, your wig. She obviously had a wig on that day. Your wig is slipping. Your wig is falling off. It's time to go, Megan. And when EJ says that, then Megan decides, all right, it's time to go. Okay. So eventually, when Megan and Kelsey leave, they don't leave with EJ. They leave with Tory's driver, Quan. So they take the bags that were already in EJ's car and they transfer them to Tory's car. Quan is the driver. This is important because yesterday, the defense attorney asked her a bunch of questions about this, and she was like, I don't know. And I'm going to do a video later today on all of the cross-examination regarding Megan's testimony yesterday. So they put the bags in Quan's car, and they all drive off together. EJ leaves by himself, and Quan drives with Megan and with Megan and Kelsey, and Tory stays. Tory stays with Kylie. Isn't that crazy? Tory stays with Kylie. And what's bizarre is that he's in a relationship with Kelsey, but Kelsey had been gone for a while, but she's back. Don't really know where they're at in their relationship, but he's obviously started another relationship with Megan. You would think, all right, I'm with these two girls. I've been involved intimately with both these girls. I should leave with these girls. But he's like, nah, y'all go. My driver's going to take y'all home. I'm staying here with Kylie Jenner. And that's exactly what happens. So then the prosecutor asked her, let's see. So yeah, Tory says, I'm not leaving. Take them home. Prosecutor asked Kelsey, did Tory resist leaving? He didn't want to go in the car. Then we leave, Megan, me, and Quan. And EJ leaves at the same time in his car. So now, while Megan and Kelsey are going back home to their Airbnb, she says that Megan is drunk in the car. She's continuing to laugh obnoxiously. That's Kelsey's word. And then she comes up with a clever idea, Megan does. According to Kelsey, Megan says, I left a slipper. I left a slipper at Kylie's house. Quan, take us back. I got to get my slipper. How many of y'all think that's true? We don't know because we don't know if there's any evidence about a slipper. But Megan says, take me back. I got to get my slipper. So Quan does a U-turn, drives back to Kylie Jenner's house. and they're parked outside of Kylie's house. Quan is in the car, and Megan goes in by herself. And then after a few moments, she says that they all come running out. Megan runs out and says, "Damn, bitch, Kylie just kicked us out." or I don't know if she said bitch Kylie, or if she just said, "Hey, bitch, Kylie just kicked us out." Apparently, when Megan went inside, she created an argument with either Tory, with either Kylie, or with both of them. So we learned that Kylie had told everyone to leave at some point, but now Kelsey's saying that Megan came back out and said, "Damn, Kylie said we have to get out." All right. So then the prosecutor asked him, "So what was the position of everybody in the car at this time?" She said, "Megan is in the front seat, and Tory and myself are in the back." Then what happens? And this is where it gets funny. She actually said, "Do I have to answer that question?" She said that she asked the judge, "Do I have to answer that question?" The judge said, "Yes, you do." So this is the first time we're starting to feel a little resistance in Kelsey's testimony. Megan was a sloppy MF that night. All right, so after the judge says, "Yes, you have to answer," she says, "All right, well, Megan was rambling. She was just in the seat rambling." And prosecutor said, "What was she rambling about?" She was like, "So many things." "What about Tory?" "There was a lot of back and forth, and between her, Megan, and Tory." She's being vague though, but they're all three of them are arguing. And she said an argument took place between all three of them in the car while they're driving. And she said they got to name calling each other. Everyone got to name calling each other. Prosecutor said, well, who's name calling who?" She said, "Everybody. Everybody." And then the prosecutor said, "Even the driver?" She was like, No. Quan wasn't. Just us three. She said, "Me and Megan was arguing. Megan and Tory was arguing. Tory and Megan was arguing." So it got pretty much heated in that car. Poor Quan, right? Quan is just, he's doing his job. He's driving. I don't know what I would do if I had Quan's job. I got these three people in my vehicle arguing like crazy. And I guess really, when you have a job like that and you're getting paid, your job is to mind your business. Mind your business and just drive. Okay, so then the prosecutor said, "Do you remember what Tory was saying?" Okay, do you remember when Tory was saying during the argument? They're having an argument, and then Tory comes out of left field and says, "Megan, we need to stop lying to Kelsey. We need to stop lying to Kelsey." And then Megan immediately responded to Kelsey, "Don't listen to Tory. Don't listen to him. Why are you telling her that, Tory?" And Megan, at this time, Kelsey's saying she's confused. I don't know what's going on. Now she's thinking like, what is Megan lying to me about? And then the argument just continues. Now the argument goes, I guess this was a little bit of chess that Tory was playing. Now the argument became between Megan and Kelsey. And they get to arguing. And the prosecutor said, "Well, what were you and Megan arguing about?" And she said, "The argument continued between me and Megan about her disloyalty." I thought that kind of hit me hard. We were arguing about her disloyalty. And the prosecutor said, "So you and Megan are arguing?" "Yeah, we're going back and forth." And then they started arguing with Tory again. And then Megan started attacking Tory's career. The argument went to Tory's career. Obviously, well, in my opinion, I think Megan, I guess we could all agree Megan is a bigger artist than Tory is. And I guess she was trying to leverage her success against the level of Tory Lanez's success in this argument. So she started attacking his career as an artist, according to Kelsey. Everyone is calling out, calling names. We all had exchanges. Did you and Tory have an exchange? Prosecutor asked. Can't remember. But everyone is taking jabs. Everyone is taking jabs at everyone. And then the prosecutor said, did Tory ever call y'all bitches and hoes in this car? This is the question that the prosecutor actually asked. Hey, you got to ask it, right? We got to ask this question. I can't blame the prosecutor for asking that question. I think it's the first time I've ever heard the term bitches and hoes used in a courtroom in 22 years of working in the courts. I've been working in the courts for 22 years, by the way. I consulted on my first case in 2000, and I've been consulting on cases ever since. I take on about 40 cases a year, and I've been doing that consistently. I've been taking like 40 cases a year now for the last decade. But in the first 10 years of consulting on cases, I probably would take on about five cases, 6 cases, and then by the time we get to 2010, 2011, I'm doing like 40. I remember one year I think I had 45 or 46 cases. I have to limit the number of cases I take because they are very time consuming. And I don't believe I've ever heard the term. I never heard a prosecutor ask a question about bitches and hoes, but she asked it. And Kelsey's answer was, we were all name calling. This is when at this point, I can tell she's not really trying to throw Tory under the bus. She's being very vague when it comes to specific questions about Tory. Did Tory ever call y'all bitches and hoes? The prosecutor asked. Her answer was, we were all name calling each other. Then she said, specifically Tory Lanez. I'm asking specifically about Tory Lanez calling y'all, Kelsey and Megan, bitches and hoes. And her answer again was, we were all name calling each other. Then she says, okay. Prosecutor says, all right, I got to go into my bag of tricks. Apparently, Kelsey gave a statement to the prosecutors at some time before. I don't have a date on that statement. But then the prosecutor says, all right, but during the interview that you gave our office, didn't you say Tory Lanez called you guys bitches and hoes? And she said, yes, but we all said stuff. So she's really trying to minimize the impact of Tory Lanez's name calling by saying we were all doing it. We're all doing it. He called us names. We called him names. She called him names. So definitely trying to minimize any negative statement against Tory Lanez. It gets better, though. It gets better, y'all. Hey, it's 1:04. In about 10 minutes, I got to bounce off of here. But I'm almost finished, actually. I put a note to myself here during that answer that she does not want to be specific about TL. She does not want to be specific. And then the prosecutor asked, did you say he threatened to shoot you in that interview? Whoa. What do you think Kelsey Harris's answer was? That kind of, we had never heard that this was even this statement was ever made. But the question again by the prosecutor, did you ever say that he threatened to shoot you? Her first answer, she looked over to the judge and she says, do I have to answer that? And the judge said, yes. And with a significant pause and hesitation, she's like, yes. And then the next question was, all right, what did he do and what did he say? And then she says, I plead the fifth, Your Honor. And then her attorney and Kelsey left the courtroom. They had a brief powwow for about 5-6 minutes to discuss whatever outside of the presence of the jury, outside of the presence of everyone. They leave the courtroom. Then they come back, and when they come back, it is lunchtime, and that's where it ends. That's where it ends. I'll stay on here for about 5 more minutes, but those last 2 questions were pretty big. Did you say he threatened to shoot you? Apparently, the prosecution had interviewed Kelsey Harris, and she made all these statements in this interview. So they have the interview. They have a transcription of the interview. And then the prosecutor asked, what did he do and what did he say? And then she said, I plead the fifth. But you can't plead the fifth when you're given immunity, so it's a little tricky. So she came back in to continue to tell testimony. She got back on the stand, and then the judge said it's time to take a lunch break. So I don't know why she's being so hesitant on answering these questions. I don't know if maybe the statement she gave to the to the DA, was that an honest statement and she's feeling regret about it now? Or does she just feel Tory? She's got a positive feeling for Tory and she don't want to throw him under the bus. I don't know, but remember we learned yesterday when Megan testified that after the shooting, after she went to the hospital, after she had surgery, Megan found out that Kelsey went to Tory Lanez's house and she was livid about it. She was like, damn, how can you go to his house after he shot me? So, but it's clear that Kelsey is not trying to throw Tory Lanez under the bus at all. And she's just being forced. She's being forced. And the prosecutor's doing a good job at trying to get those questions answered. So the last 2 questions, and then I'm gonna hop off of here, was, did you say he threatened to shoot you? And then she asked the judge, do I have to ask? And she was like, kind of, I don't, yeah. Well, what did he say and what did he do? And then that's when she said, I take the fifth. And she walked out the courtroom, came back in to continue, and it was lunch break. Any quick questions? I'm off this in 6 minutes to go back in. Anyone want to come on real quick? Here's the link. Any quick questions before I got to bounce? Any quick questions before I got to bounce? Tory will be found innocent. Nothing here is concrete. Well, we haven't got to the meat and potatoes of the testimony. The next questions that the prosecutor is going to ask. And please show yourself on camera if you can. Please do so. We got Summer in here. Unmute yourself, Summer.
I can't show myself on camera.
Kelsey finna fuck her check up.
I just wanted to ask, hi. I just wanted to ask you, how do you feel about today? Like, if you were one of the jurors, what would you be feeling based on her?
Well, I definitely. Well, it's clear that Kelsey has reinforced the notion that Megan has lied and Megan was disloyal when she pursued a sexual relationship with Tory. And that's what the defense wants. The defense wants to create some reasonable doubt. But she's still in the middle of testimony. She still got we haven't even got to the shooting part yet. So we don't know what.
Thank you. That was all. I'm gonna drop down.
All right. Have a good one, Summer. All right. What's up, DJ Banks?
Hey, what's good, man?
Quick question.
Yeah, what's up?
Quick question, because I got to leave in a minute. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, man, like, so Kelsey, bro, so you really saying that she like defending Tory? Like, so do you really think she on his side like 100%?
You were breaking up a little bit. Can you repeat that?
Nah. So are you saying that do you think that Kelsey is on Tory Lane's side 100%?
I don't know if I can quantify how much she's on his side, but she's definitely extremely hesitant on answering any questions to throw him under the bus. So I don't know what percent, but
Yeah.
clearly you know what? I forgot to say the DA actually asked her, "Are you feeling threatened?" Wait.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait. There's another question. When they came back, when she came back on the stand, wait up, I got a helicopter flying right over me. I got one more point I forgot to throw in here at the end. When she came back on the stand, rather than the DA asking the question, did he threaten to shoot you? Her question was, when Tory Lanez threatened to shoot you, what did you say? That was a very clever question because what the prosecutor did was she embedded that Tory threatened to shoot her as a fact within the question. So she said, when Tory Lanez threatened to shoot you, what did you say? And then Kelsey responded, I want to take the fifth. And the judge says, you have to answer. Then she says, I don't know. I don't want to answer. And then the prosecutor says, why don't you want to answer? She says, I don't know. I don't want to be here. How do you feel about Tory Lanez? No, she said, how do you feel about being here? She said, it bothers me to be here. Then the prosecutor, this was the last question. I had one more.
Yeah.
I don't know if I slightly broke up there. Did everyone hear that last part? Because that was very important.
Yeah. Nah, I really didn't hear it.
I think I was breaking up. Was I breaking up? This last point is very important, and then I'm gonna get out of here. When the prosecutor came back, I'm sorry, when Kelsey came back on the stand after she left with her attorney, the prosecutor rephrased the question and said, when Tory Lanez threatened to shoot you, what did he say? Then her answer was, I want to take the fifth again. The judge told her, you have to answer. And then her answer was, I don't know. And then the prosecutor said, why don't you want to answer? And then she says, I don't know. I don't want to be here. And then the prosecutor said, how do you feel about Tory Lanez? And she said, I just don't want to be here. And then she said, I don't have any feeling about Tory Lanez. I just don't want to be here. So that was actually the last questions. I forgot I had one more page of notes. So after she pled the fifth with her lawyer, left, came back about 5 minutes later. Then the prosecutor rephrased the question. When Tory Lanez threatened to shoot you, what did he say? And then she said, I want to take the fifth again. And then the judge says, you have to answer. And then her answer was, I don't know. Why don't you want to answer? I don't know. So that's pretty much where it ended. And then it was lunchtime. I'll take this one question here real quick, and then I'm out of here, y'all. Go ahead, advocate. Unmute yourself. All right. Someone said maybe she got paid off. Well, who knows? Maybe she got paid off. Maybe none of this ever happened. Maybe her and Megan concocted this story when they told the police later. Maybe it's all true. I don't know. But I want to thank everyone for tapping in. I'll get back on later. I'm gonna get on tonight and break down the rest of her testimony this afternoon.